Hello students, good morning to everyone. This is M. Bujibabu, working as a chemistry lecturer in Vignan Cooperative Junior College, Vatlamudi. So today's our topic is solutions. This is very familiar to you. So in previous sessions I gave totally I completed 5 videos regarding to this particular solution chapter. So I think this is the last video for to you. So in the solution chapter mainly we are focusing on the number of many videos we have to read in there. First one, the concept of the solution and concentration terms of the solution, and next one, some important problems regarding to concentration terms, and next problem is important law, Henry's law regarding problems, and next concept is solubility and the solubility of solid in liquid and the solubility of gas in liquid. And another important concept is regarding to the vapor pressure. So what is meant by vapor pressure and especially calculation of the vapor pressure in case of solids in liquids and calculation of the vapor pressure in case of liquid in liquid type of solution. Okay. The next another important concept regarding to the vapor pressure of the solution is Raoult's law. We have to define the Raoult's law for volatile solute and non-volatile solute. And next important topic is colligative properties. This is a very important topic in case of JEE Main pattern and MSET pattern. So there are in last video we did for two types of colligative properties are there. First RLVP and second one elevation of boiling point. So the remaining two colligative properties are we are going to discuss especially in this video. So once look at the contents what are present in this video are first one colligative properties. So I already gave the information about the colligative properties in the previous video. Mainly colligative properties are four: relative lowering of vapor pressure, elevation of boiling point, and depression of freezing point, and osmotic pressure. Okay. So in that one we already discussed about the first two, that are relative lowering of vapor pressure and elevation of boiling point. In this one, depression of freezing point. So what is meant by depression of freezing point? How can we calculate the freezing point value? So generally freezing point of a given substance can be defined as the vapor pressure of a given substance is equal to its vapor phase and solid phase. So therefore that is known as the definition for the freezing point. So generally the freezing point of the pure solvent is always higher than the freezing point of the solution. Therefore TF naught minus TF indicates the lowering of the freezing point in case of solution and pure solvent can be termed as a depression in freezing point. And next one is osmotic pressure. So what is meant by osmotic pressure? So osmotic pressure means the amount of pressure required to stop osmosis, that is known as osmotic pressure. It is also a property of the colligative property. And next one, abnormal molar mass. So what is meant by abnormal molar mass? So abnormal molar mass means first we have to calculate the mass of the given substance, either it is lower or higher than its original value. So that is known as the abnormal molar mass of that particular substance. And finally Van der Waals factor. So what is meant by Van der Waals factor? Van der Waals factor can be denoted by the symbol I. So Van der Waals factor means it is proposed by the scientist Van der Waals, and it is easy to calculate the extent of association or dissociation. Extent of association or dissociation. And finally some previous IIT JEE questions regarding to this two colligative properties and Van der Waals factor, that is the depression of freezing point and osmotic pressure and Van der Waals factor. So look at the definition, some points regarding to the freezing point. The lowering of vapor pressure of a solution causes lowering of the freezing point compared to that of the pure solvent. So therefore the lowering of vapor pressure of a solution causes a lowering of the freezing point compared to that of the pure solvent. Okay. First we have to calculate the vapor pressure of the solution. Lowering of vapor pressure of the solution is lower of the freezing point compared to that of the pure solvent. At the freezing point of a substance, the solid phase in a dynamic equilibrium with the liquid phase. So for we have to calculate the freezing point of the given substance, the solid phase in dynamic equilibrium with the liquid phase. Both the solid phase and liquid phase both are in a dynamic equilibrium, then we have to define the freezing point of that substance. So the freezing point of a substance may be defined as the temperature at which the vapor pressure of the substance in its liquid phase is equal to the vapor phase in its solid phase. Therefore, the definition of the freezing point of a given substance can be defined as the particular temperature at which temperature the vapor pressure of the substance in its liquid phase is equal to its vapor pressure in the solid phase. Okay, when the given substance is in a dynamic equilibrium with its solid phase and liquid phase, okay, the vapor pressure of the substance in its liquid phase, solid phase, therefore the substance must be in a dynamic equilibrium with a liquid phase and a solid phase, okay, at which particular temperature the substance dynamic equilibrium with its liquid phase and solid phase, so that particular temperature is known as the freezing point of that substance. Okay, and next one, a solution will freeze. A solution will freeze when its vapor pressure equal to the vapor pressure of the pure solid solvent. A solution will freeze when its vapor pressure equals to the vapor pressure of the pure solid solvent. Okay, so for the given solution with undergo freezing, the vapor pressure of its the substance must be equal to the vapor pressure of the pure solvent. Vapor pressure of the pure solvent. According to Raoult's law, when a non-volatile solid is added to the solvent, its vapor pressure decreases. So what is that? According to Raoult's law, the non-volatile character of a solid is added to the pure solvent, its vapor pressure is automatically decreases because the nature of non-volatile character of the solid, and now it would become equal to that of the solid solvent at lower temperature. It would become equal to that of solid solvent. So the vapor pressure of that substance, according to Raoult's law, it must be equal to that of the solid solvent at a lower temperature. Okay, thus the freezing point of the solvent decreases. Therefore, the freezing point of the solvent decreases due to the presence of the non-volatile character of the solid substance. Okay, and next one, therefore, let Tf not be the freezing point of the pure solvent, and Tf be its freezing point when non-volatile solute is dissolved. Non-volatile solute is dissolved in it. Okay, so the decreasing in freezing point delta Tf indicates Tf naught minus Tf is known as the depression in freezing point. Depression in the freezing point. Okay, Tf naught indicates the freezing point of the pure solvent, and Tf is indicates the freezing point of the non-volatile solute is added dissolved in it. Therefore, the decreasing in the freezing point can be denoted by the symbol delta Tf is equal to Tf naught minus Tf is known as depression in freezing point. Therefore, depression of freezing point for dilute solutions is directly proportional to molality. Therefore, the freezing point can be defined as with the symbol delta Tf for dilute solutions. The depression in freezing point is directly proportional to molality small m. Therefore, this indicates delta Tf is equal to Kf into m. So therefore, according to the definition of the elevation of boiling point, delta Tb also directly proportional to molality. At the same way here also, depression of freezing point delta Tf directly proportional to molality. So here Kf is known as cryoscopic constant. Kf is known as cryoscopic constant. Kf is known as cryoscopic constant or molal depression constant or molal depression constant. Molal depression constant. Therefore, units of Kf is equal to Kelvin kilogram mole inverse. Kelvin kilogram mole inverse. Okay. And next one is relation between the cryoscopic constant and enthalpy of fission. So what is the relation between the cryoscopic constant, that is known as Kf? Cryoscopic constant means Kf, and enthalpy of fission, that indicates a delta H fission. So the relation given like this by this one, Kf is equal to R into M1 Tf square by 1000 delta H vaporization. So this is the relation between the cryoscopic constant Kf and enthalpy of vaporization delta H. So Rm1 Tf square by 1000 into delta H vaporization. So this is the formula. So in that formula we know that the terms already indicates here. Kf is the cryoscopic constant, here R is the universal gas constant, you know that very well. Rf is the universal gas constant, and Tf is the freezing point of solution which have non-volatile solvent, and delta H vaporization. This is equal to enthalpy of vaporization. So this is a relation between the cryoscopic constant Kf and enthalpy of vaporization delta H vaporization. So once look at this graphical representation, the relation between the temperature and vapor pressure. On x-axis we have to take the temperature, and the y-axis we have to take the vapor pressure, and here Tf and Tf naught indicates Tf is the freezing point of the solution, and Tf naught is the freezing point of the pure solvent. Therefore the difference between the freezing point of the pure solvent and solution indicated by symbol delta Tf. Here delta Tf is known as the depression in freezing point. Therefore delta Tf is equal indicates by Tf naught minus Tf. In that one, this indicates the depression in freezing point. Tf is the freezing point of the solution, and Tf naught is a pure state of the solvent. So this is a graphical representation. And come to the next concept, osmosis. So osmotic pressure, it is a colligative properties. Before knowing the definition of the osmotic pressure, first we have to see what is meant by osmosis. So what is the best example, live example for this osmosis is, so before going to the discussion of the definition, we have to see some live examples. Through that live examples we have to define what is meant by osmosis. And first one is raw mangoes. Raw mango shell when pickled in a salt water. So once look at this example. So this is raw mango. Before going to the preparation of the pickle, so in our general houses, our mothers are doing this preparation of pickles. First take this some raw mangoes and cut it into pieces and add some little bit amount of spicy items and salt. When raw mango shrivel when pickled in a salt water, so the first we have to observe the size of the mango size. So before the size is very large, after when making the preparation of the pickle, we are adding some salt and spicy contents to that these pieces of the mangoes. After then the size of the mangoes will be shrink because of the some of the little bit amount of water will escape from that pieces, and the size of the pieces is decreases. Here osmosis process takes place. So we have to see another example regarding to the osmosis one, that is wilted flowers revive when placed in fresh water. So once you look at these flowers, these are having very wilted flowers, that is not in blossomness or not have any freshness. So in a regular life we have to going to market, we have to so many flowers. So the flower makers, we have to preparation them. They are always pouring some little bit amount of water on flowers. Okay. So when the wilted flowers revive when placed in fresh water. So to attain freshness of that flowers, we have to keep that flowers in a beaker which is having some water. Therefore automatically some osmosis process is there. Here when the wilted flowers kept in water, so the water will passing into the membrane of that flower. Therefore the membrane which is presenting on the flower, they absorb some water, and the wilted flowers get changes into fresh water. So here also osmosis process takes place. Let's see another example regarding to the osmotic pressure, that is known as blood cells collapse when suspended in saline water. Blood cells collapse when suspended in saline water. You know that very well. Content of the blood consisting of so many particles that are white blood cells, red blood cells, and platelets and serum, and some of the components, pigments presenting in blood. Some of the blood cells we are placing in the saline water. So when blood cells are presenting in the saline water, so what will happen? The size of the blood cells will be shrink. Here the osmosis process takes place. Some of the water content will be flown out from that cells, therefore automatically before the size of the cells are in particular range, after when they are placing in the saline water, the blood cells will be undergoing shrink, their size also will be decreases. So these are all the best example for the osmosis. So by observing all these examples, we have to concluded the definition of the osmosis like this. The solvent molecules will flow through the SPM from pure solvent to the solution. This process of flowing of the solvent is called osmosis. Here SPM is known as semi-permeable membrane. So this is the, from observing previous three examples, I understood the definition of the osmosis. What is that? The solvent molecules, the flow of solvent molecules from one solution to another solution through SPM. SPM means semi-permeable membrane, which is made up of pig bladder, which is consisting of some porous holes. That size of the porous holes only allows the size of the solvent molecules only. So this is a definition for the osmosis. Okay, by observing the previous three examples, we concluded the definition of the osmosis is the inflow of solvent molecules from one solution to another solution. So look at this image once again. Here low concentration solution, and this is a high concentration solution. This is a low sugar concentration, and this is a high sugar concentration. Here this is a high water concentration, this is a low water concentration. Here water molecules denoted by blue letters, sugar molecules denoted by green letters. So when osmosis process takes place, the solvent molecules are passing from low sugar solution to high sugar solution. So this is the definition for the osmosis. So osmosis can be defined as the inflow of solvent molecules from one solution to another solution. And next one, osmotic pressure. So what is meant by osmotic pressure? The amount of pressure required to stop osmosis is called osmotic pressure. So after knowing the definition of the osmosis, we have to define the definition of the osmotic pressure. The amount of the pressure required to stop osmosis is called osmotic pressure. So once look at this example, this is a solution and this is another solvent. Between these two terms, we have to take SPM. SPM is semi-permeable membrane. SPM is semi-permeable membrane. So therefore, the solvent molecules, inflow of solvent molecules from one solution to another solution through SPM is known as osmotic pressure. Therefore, here the pressure which is applied on the surface of the solution, therefore the amount of the pressure which stop osmosis, that is known as osmotic pressure. So this is the definition of the osmotic pressure. Next one, osmotic pressure is directly proportional to the molarity. Osmotic pressure is directly proportional to molarity. See here, osmotic pressure denoted by the symbol pi, directly proportional to molarity capital M. Directly proportional to molarity capital M. Therefore, pi is equal to CRT. Pi is equal to CRT. Here C is the concentration. Therefore, pi is equal to, in place of concentration, we have to take molarity. Pi is equal to MRT. Therefore, pi is equal to, you know that very well, the definition of the molarity. So what is meant by molarity? Number of moles of solute present in 1 liter volume of solution, that is known as molarity. Therefore, pi V is equal to N2RT. Pi V is equal to N2RT. Therefore, pi V is equal to number of moles means weight by molecular weight into RT. So therefore, this is a formula for osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure directly proportional to molarity. Molarity is a concentration term. Therefore, formula for osmotic pressure pi is equal to CRT. In place of concentration, we have to take molarity. So therefore, molarity means number of moles of solute present in 1 liter volume of solution. Therefore, pi V is equal to N2RT. In place of number of moles, we have to take weight by molecular weight. Next one, isotonic solutions. What are isotonic solutions? The solutions having same osmotic pressure, the solutions which are having same osmotic pressure at a given temperature are called isotonic solutions. What are they? Isotonic solutions. At a given temperature, the two solutions which are having same osmotic pressure, that are known as isotonic solutions. The osmotic pressure, best example for this one is the osmotic pressure associated with the fluid inside the blood cells is equivalent to that of the 0.9% molecular mass by volume. Sodium chloride solution is called saline solution. So saline solution means 0.9% mass by volume sodium chloride solution. When the osmotic pressure associated with the fluids inside the blood is isotonic with the saline solution. And next one, hypertonic solution. What is meant by hypertonic solution? Hypertonic and hypotonic. If you place the cells in a solution containing more than 0.9% sodium chloride, water will flow out of the cells and they would shrink. Such solution is called hypertonic solution. In very simple manner, we have to define the hypertonic solution means the solutions, between the two solutions, which solution has higher osmotic pressure compared to with the second one, that is known as hypertonic solution. Hypotonic solution means the solution which is having lower osmotic pressure compared with the second one, that is known as a hypotonic solution. Example, if the concentration is less than the 0.9%, the solution is said to be hypotonic. So you have to identify the difference between the isotonic, hypertonic and hypotonic. Iso solutions means the two solutions which are having same osmotic pressure, that are isotonic solution. Between the two solution which is has higher osmotic pressure, that is hypertonic, which is have lower osmotic pressure, that is known as hypotonic solution. So reverse osmosis and water purification. So what is meant by reverse osmosis process? The direction of the osmosis can be reversed if a pressure larger than the osmotic pressure is applied to the solution side, that is known as reverse osmosis. So reverse osmosis is the reverse process of osmosis. Then we have to apply the higher pressure greater than the osmotic pressure, that is known as the process of reverse osmosis. So this is the fresh water, this is the salt water. Here we have to, by using with the help of the piston, we have to use the pressure, that is known as pressure greater than pi or greater than P. So we have to use higher pressure than the osmotic pressure. Therefore, the reverse osmosis takes place. Osmosis means inflow of solvent molecules from one solution to another solution. In reverse osmosis process, the solvent molecules are come back to the another solution, that is known as the reverse osmosis. By using this reverse osmosis, desalination of water will be changes into potable water. This is very useful. So many countries have to use this reverse osmosis process for the purification of the saline water. And second one, abnormal molar mass. So what is meant by abnormal molar mass? So abnormal molar mass means the molar mass which is either lower or higher than the expected or normal value is called abnormal molar mass. For example, you have to know the given mass of the substance, particular one, for example, then the molar mass of the substance is either lower or higher expected or a normal value of the substance, that is known as abnormal molar mass. So the best example for this abnormal molar mass is, for example, you have to calculate the ethanoic acid or acetic acid, CH3COOH. So the structure of the CH3COOH like this manner. We have to write in here CH3, okay, CH3COOH, CH3COOH, and here we have to take another acetic acid, CH3, okay, CH3COOH. Here also we have to take double bond, CH3COOH. So here hydrogen bond formation will be takes place. This is the single bond. Hydrogen bond formation, CH3COOH, CH3COOH. Hydrogen bond formation will be takes place, one hydrogen atom and oxygen atom. Here also hydrogen bond formation will be takes place between the hydrogen atom and oxygen atom. Hydrogen and oxygen atom, hydrogen bond. Therefore here another important point is the mass value of the, for example, you have to calculate the delta TB values and delta TF values for this acetic acid is half our values, because of this acetic acid will be existing as a dimer in a suitable solvent because of this dielectric constant. Therefore we have to calculate the mass of the acetic acid. It is twice the value of its normal value or expected value. So this is known as the abnormal molar mass. Therefore the mass of this substance is either lower or higher its normal value, that is known as abnormal molar mass. So come to the Van 't Hoff factor. So what is meant by Van 't Hoff factor? So Van 't Hoff is a scientist name. He calculated the value for extent of association or dissociation. Extent of association or dissociation. We have to calculate the extent of association, dissociation. This is measured by the scientist Van 't Hoff. Van 't Hoff factor indicated by the symbol small I. So by using the Van 't Hoff factor, we have to calculate the extent of association or dissociation of the molar mass. Therefore Van 't Hoff factor I is equal to normal molar mass by abnormal molar mass. Normal molar mass by abnormal molar mass. Abnormal molar mass. Or Van 't Hoff factor can also be defined as number of moles of particles after association or dissociation. After association or dissociation by number of moles of particles before association or dissociation. This is a formula for Van 't Hoff factor. So we have to see some previous IIT JEE questions regarding to these colligative properties, that are freezing point and osmotic pressure pi. So first problem, freezing point of an aqueous solution is minus 0.186 degrees centigrade. Elevation of boiling point of the same solution is, here Kb value is given, Kf value is also given. So freezing point of the an aqueous solution, that means the delta Tf value is given 0.186 degrees centigrade, and find out elevation of boiling point of the same solution. Elevation of boiling point of the same solution, we have to calculate delta Tb value, and what are the given values? Kb value is given 0.512 and Kf value also given, that is 1.86 degrees centigrade. So therefore delta Tb by delta Tf is equal to Kb by K4. From this one we have to calculate the value of delta Tb. So what is the value for delta Tb? We have to calculate the delta Tb value. So what is the delta Tf value? 0.186 into what is the value of Kb? 0.512 by what is the value of Kb? 1.86. So this implies we have to calculate the value of delta Tb is equal to 0.186 into 0.512 by 1.86. So this is equal to 0.1. So this implies 0.0512. So this is the first problem. Next one, if alpha is the degree of dissociation of sodium sulfate Na2SO4, the 1/2 factor for the calculating the molecular mass. So sodium sulfate Na2SO4, it undergo dissociation. It gives rise to 2Na plus ion and SO4, 2Na plus ion SO4 minus. So calculate the 1/2 factor. So initial stage at 1 moles, 0 mole, 0 moles. At equilibrium state, it's 1 minus alpha, 2 alpha, alpha. So 1/2 factor can be defined as total number of moles after dissociation by total number of moles before dissociation. That is 1 minus alpha plus 2 alpha plus alpha by 1. Here this is equal to minus alpha plus alpha cancel. This is equal to 1 plus 2 alpha. This is a 1/2 factor for this one. And next one, ethylene glycol is used as an antifreeze in a cold climate. So mass of ethylene glycol, which should be added to 4 kg of water to prevent it from freezing point at 6 degrees centigrade, will be Kf value is given, and a molecular weight of ethylene glycol is also given. So we know that the formula relation between the freezing, first what we have to green mass of the ethylene glycol. Mass of the ethylene glycol we have to calculate 4 grams of water. Here water is the solvent, water mass is the 4 kilograms. And the freezing point delta Tf also given. Delta Tf is equal to 6 degrees centigrade, and a Kf value also given. Kf is 1.86, and molecular weight of ethylene glycol, that is equal to 62. So there is a formula relation between the delta Tf is equal to Kf into 1000 into W2 by M2 into W1. From this one we have to calculate the mass of ethylene glycol. Here ethylene glycol is a solute, that mass we have to calculate mass of, that means we have to calculate the W2 value. So what is the delta Tf value for here? Delta Tf value is equal to 6. So this is equal to, in place of, we have to calculate the freezing point 6 degrees, mass of here value given kilograms. That way we have to take the formula in this manner. Delta Tf is equal to Kf into W2 by M2 into W1. So this indicates what is the value for delta Tf is equal to 6, and what is the value for Kf 1.86 into, we have to calculate the W2 value and what is the M2 value. Molar mass given 62, and what is the value of W1? So weight of the solvent given 4 kg. So this implies we have to calculate the value of W2 is equal to 6 into 62 into 4 by 1.86. Okay, this indicates, so simply reduce rice approximately 800 grams. And next one, Kf for water is 1.86 Kelvin kilogram. The value of Kf is given. Kf is equal to 1.86 Kelvin kilogram mole inverse. If your automobile radiator holds 1 kg of water, how many grams of ethylene glycol must added to get the freezing point of the solution? So delta Tf is also given minus 2.8. So how many grams of ethylene glycol? That means we have to calculate the how many grams of ethylene glycol. So we have to calculate the W2 value. So here also we have to use that same formula. Delta Tf is equal to Kf into 1000 into W2 by M2 into W1. So in place of grams we have to take the 1000 value, but here we have to calculate the how many grams of ethylene glycol must be added in grams. Therefore that is equal to delta Tf is equal to Kf into W2 by M2 into W1 in kilograms. But here The mass of the water given in kg, that's why we do not have 1000 value, take 1000 value. Therefore, what is the value of delta TF here? That is equal to 2.82. What is the value for KF? 1.86 into, calculate the W2 and M2 value, ethylene glycol for mass W2. So weight of the ethylene glycol is 1 kg. Okay, therefore W2 is equal to 2.8 into 60 T by 1.86. So this implies 3 times 1 times, it gives rise to approximately 90. So this question also regarding to the depression freezing point. And next one, if sodium sulfate is considered to be completely dissociated into cations and anions in aqueous solution, the change in the freezing point of the water when 0.01 mole of sodium sulfate is dissolved in 1 kg of water, Kf is given. Okay, so sodium sulfate solution is given, Na2SO4, completely dissociant ions, it gives rise to 2Na plus ion and SO4 minus 2 ion. So the change in freezing point, means we have to calculate delta TF when the 0.01 mole. So molality means given 0.01 mole and 1 kg of water. Mass of the water is equal to 1 kg. And what is the value given here? Kf is given 1.86. So what is the relation between the delta TF and I? Therefore delta TF is equal to I into Kf into molality. Therefore delta TF is equal to, what is the 1.5 factor I for this sodium sulfate is equal to, so what is the 1.5 factor for this one? 3. Sodium sulfate for 1.5 factor I is equal to, also we have to calculate by using this formula relation between the 1.5 factor and delta TF. So here also we have to apply another for delta TF is equal to Kf into 1000 into W2 by M2 into W1. Okay, this is equal to K. This total term belongs to M. Therefore therefore delta TF is equal to Kf into M. What is the value for Kf? 1.86. And what is the for molality? 0.0. This is equal to 0.0558 Kelvin. Next one, a 5.25% solution of a substance is isotonic with, this is a solution here, its percentage is 5.25%, and this is a solution B, its percentage 1.5%, and urea molecular weight, this is the solution for urea formula NH2CO NH2, its molecular weight MB means 60 grams. If the density of the both solutions are assumed to be equal 1 gram, and the molecular mass of the substance will be, so this mass is Ma. So both the solutions are isotonic, their osmotic pressure is same, that is equal to pi is equal to CRT, pi 1 C1, therefore pi CRT pi 2 C2. Therefore here the simple formula, A by M, its mass is percentage A percentage B, A by Ma is equal to B by Mb, A by Ma is equal to B by Mb. This is equal to 5.25 by Ma is equal to, what is the value for B? 1.5 by 60. From this one we have to calculate the value of Ma is equal to 5.25 into 60 by 1.5. This is equal to 210. This is equal to 210. And next one, the freezing point of 1 mole aqueous solution. The freezing point of 1 mole aqueous solution of HF is found to be, freezing point of delta TF is given, delta TF is equal to 1.91 degrees centigrade minus, and HF hydrogen fluoride. The freezing point constant of water, just we have to calculate the value for Kf. Water is given, Kf value is 1.86 Kelvin kilogram molar. The percentage of dissociation Hf, the percentage of dissociation we have to calculate. Therefore, delta Tf is equal to I into Kf into molarity. So what is the 1/2 factor for this one? Kf hydrogen fluoride undergo dissociation. It gives rise to H plus ion and F minus ion. 1 0 0 1 minus alpha alpha. 1/2 factor I is equal to 1 minus alpha plus alpha by 1. Therefore 1/2 factor I is equal to 1 plus alpha. Therefore 1 plus alpha into what is the value for Kf is 1.86, and what is the value for molality? Molality of this solution is delta Tf is equal to Kf into molality 1 molar 1.0, that is equal to 1 molar. This indicates, so what is the value for delta Tf is equal to 1.91. Therefore 1.91 is equal to 1 plus alpha 1.86 into 1. Therefore from this one alpha is equal to 0.027. So in case of percentage of dissociation, alpha is equal to 2.7%. Okay, these are all the problems regarding to the solution. Once I recollect what we learned in this video, especially last two colligative properties, that are depression, freezing point, and osmotic pressure, and osmosis, and what are isotonic solutions, hypertonic and hypotonic solutions, and some previous JEE questions regarding to the colligative properties of depression, freezing point, and osmotic pressure, and abnormal molar mass, and 1/2 factor I. Okay, thank you students, thank you very much.